write a book. So like me, I wrote several books. So that will come under a copyright. I will get a copyright for those books. So those are my intangible assets created with my mind, my intellect. And then we have the patents. You have an invention. You created an invention. You built some type of machinery, some type of device, and you got a patent for that. And then we have our trade secrets. So your trade secrets are, in other words, you have a business. You have a business and you have a secret you don't want to get out. You don't want your competitors to get a hold of your secret and obtain your positioning in the market, in the marketplace. They grabbing your position in the marketplace because they stole your trade secrets. You had a recipe. You had some type of secret in your business that you were making money off of, and that was your intellectual property, your intangible asset, and would be considered your intellectual property. So you don't want nobody to get a hold of that. You don't want another company to get a hold of your intangible asset, your trade secret. Then we have our trademark. In other words, you have a business name, you have your logos, you have your labels. Your logos, your labels, your business name, you would get a trademark for that. And that would also be your intangible asset, which is your intellectual property. So intellectual property, if we have anything under the intellectual property, anything under our intellectual property, that gives us the exclusive right to use that intellectual property to make money. So nobody should be infringing on, in other words, nobody should be infringing on my book. So that would be copyright infringement. Nobody should be infringing on my patent. So I guess that would be patent infringement. Nobody should be infringing on my trademark, my logos, my labels, my business name. So that comes under my trademark that is considered my intellectual property. That would be trademark infringement. Nobody should be infringing on my trademark. Nobody should be infringing on my trade secrets that I have in my business. I have my business, Shirley Bags LLC, and nobody should be infringing on my business. So, and then my this would be my logo. This would be something that I could get trademarked. My intellectual property. So my business name, my logos, and my labels. My logo. This is my logo. This will come under my intellectual property. So anybody try to infringe on my logos, my labels, my business name, my products. If I had them trademarked, I had my products trademarked. But, I am, what I do, I buy my products from other companies and then, for resale. But so that is intellectual property. So we have our patents, copyrights, patents, trademarks, trade secrets. So we also, your trade name, all those things come under your intellectual property, your intangible assets. So let's get on some reviews, So this is my soft leather. So this is a PU soft leather, So I want to get some, I'll be getting some new items in pretty soon, So this bag right here is so soft and beautiful, so soft. So you can always, so this is my, anybody can carry a bag like this, but I guess it's more so like a lady's bag. So, very soft, beautiful leather, that PU leather. So anybody want to read more up on your intellectual property? So like I said, your copyrights, your patents, your trademarks, your trade names, your trade secrets, those are your intangible assets created with the mind. That's why they call it intellectual property. So they are created with your intellect, your mind. So you don't want to be accused of trademark infringement, copyright infringement, trade name infringement. So I think about a lot of companies like Walmart, Kmart, Target, Nike, different hotel brands we have over here, the Hilton Hotel, the Marriott Hotel. So every company, every brand has their, their own trade name. The trade name, the trademark, and the trade name. So the trademark and the trade name, it comes under the company's intellectual property. So, it comes under a company's intellectual property. And so your intellectual property, that gives you the exclusive right to use that intellectual property, and nobody else should be infringing on your intellectual property. Gives you the exclusive right. Yep, so this is a soft leather bag. It's, black. And then I also, like I said, have this in red. So then I have it in red, so it's so soft, So I have it in red too, so it's soft. And so, marketing, every time you talk about your products and services, every time I tell you about the benefits of it, where you can get it, where you can get it at, what it costs. So you go down in here, it's so soft.